Okay, we're back here at these bees that we put a queen into. It was actually 2 days ago now. I introduced the virgin queen on Thursday evening, and I normally come back 24 hours later. We had some cold weather that pulled in yesterday afternoon, and it's been raining for the last 24 hours on and off, and we've just had a bit of a break now. So I didn't get into the box yesterday afternoon to release this queen, so I need to just catch up on it now, as we've got a bit of a break in the weather. It's not too cold, there's not a cold wind around, it's a little bit overcast still, but it's not going to be the end of the world just to go into them quickly to release that queen. Hopefully she's still doing alright, and hopefully the bees have accepted her. So yeah, let's have a look. Remember the gloves. As I said, I promote wearing gloves at all times. It isn't always easy to work with them, but if you can, rather do it. It is just safer at the end of the day. A little bit of smoke, just so that they know we're coming. Ideally, I wouldn't normally be sitting right in front of the entrance. I like them to be able to work while I'm working on the hive. I would normally be on the side. I don't have a lot of room on this side, so I'm just going to work them from the front so that we can see what's going on nicely on the camera there as well. So I'm not going to even open this top chamber for now. I'm going to just pick it up and put it straight back down, because we know that the queen is in the top here, the original queen. We do know that there was a super procedure cell that they started on there, so I do want to check that just now. As we're finishing up, but for now I don't need to disturb these bees in the top, so I'm just going to move them straight over. Just going to place them out the way here for now. Bring that camera a little bit closer. Okay. You can see the bees on top of the frames. We've got our cage here that we had the queen in. I still see her running around, so she's still looking lively. She's looking good. We need to be putting the queen excluder back on when we're finishing up. But all I do here, normally they've propolished this quite well here, but I just want to move one frame over slightly, just give them a little bit of smoke, just to get the bees to go down. As I said, I don't like it when the bees are on top of the frames. I prefer them to be moving down in the box. Just put her over there for now, and then all I do is I simply pull the frame out, look for the side with some good brood on it, which will be this side. I lay this frame down very gently. There's a lot of nice nurse bees on here. You can see they're lighter in color than your worker bees. They almost have like a grayish look to them. I just pop the lid off, place the cage down, there she comes out, running along, get it out the way, and there she is on the frame with the bees. Don't know if you can hear her piping. You can see how the bees are interacting with her. We don't have any problems there of acceptance. Yeah, she's running over here. Pick it up. You can see how she runs amongst. She's drinking a bit of nectar at the moment, running along with the other bees. They completely ignore her. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Now I just very carefully Try and hold it like this so you can see. I like to make sure I can see her when I put her in. I'm just going to try and find her. I've lost sight of her now. Do you hear her? Yeah, she is. Oh, there she flies. That's not really what we want. Well, we know she can fly. I just want to find her again. I hear her. I hear her piping. Okay, she's inside the box already, so she must have dropped down in here. I can see her running along the frame in there. So I was concerned yesterday, or actually day before, about the bees, or about her being able to fly. You would have seen in the video when we marked her. I was concerned about her actually being able to fly. I thought her wings were a bit damaged, but that confirms to me that she can fly, so I'm glad about that. Now I'm just going to be filling the box up. Foundation, add the other frame in. Bees are flying around a little bit today, but as I said, the weather hasn't been the best. You see them sitting with their nosy knobs up in the air. They are a little bit more ticked off with me today than what I like. But it's understandable, I've messed them around a little bit. Important things, queen excluder on. Okay, top chamber back on. Just straighten everything up nicely. Okay, as I said, I'm wanting to have a look into the top box here now, just to have a look for that supersedure cell that we saw. Now I don't want these bees flying a lot because I don't want this queen to now fly out because she knows where the entrance is. Now obviously you want to keep the virgin queen isolated at the bottom so that she can go out and mate. Just like to keep them down. I really want to just pull this frame straight out of the drawn comb that I put in. And I put that in 2 days ago, so let's just see if the queen has started laying on it. It's a matter of interest. Come on, there we go. Yeah, and there's eggs in here. I don't know if you can see them. So our queen has started to lay in there. That's what I say. To me, this queen has got a good laying pattern. I don't see a problem with her laying. I'm just hearing there's a drone flying around here, just making sure it's not our queen. But it's not, so we'll just put that there for now. Okay, here's that supersedure cell now. I'll point it out to you in a second. Right in here. See how the bees are developing it. So I want to try and angle it up to the camera. I did see an egg in there the other day, but hoping that we will be able to see an egg in there. It might be a larva at this stage. No, it's still in the egg stage. Don't know if the camera would have got that. Let's try again. Just looking inside here now, trying to see if I can get the angle right for the camera to see the egg. What I do notice with this queen is she doesn't have the best looking brood pattern, so there's a chance when she got mated maybe she just didn't mate successfully or efficiently, and that could be the reason we've got the bees wanting to supersede her now. But she is still a young queen. She is from queens that I've bred this season, and her pattern doesn't look bad to me, but when I see the egg laying pattern, especially on that new frame, I can see she's got a really nice pattern she's laying, but then it comes out patchy. This is what we call shotgun brood. So this means that maybe there's something wrong with the development of the brood, and that can potentially be that she hasn't mated sufficiently. I don't see our queen today. That's not the end of the world. We often don't see her. She could also still be on this other frame. Yeah, she's crawling around up here, the top corner. So that's our existing lane queen. Lovely queen, actually. She really is. For me, it's quite sad. I don't know why they want to supersede her. I don't quite know what's wrong with her, but we allow nature to take its toll. Let's just put her back. I always try and put the frames back in the exact same order. It's important to keep the nest the way it was. The other day I put this frame of drawn foundation in, and this patch here is laid up with eggs at the moment, and it's on both sides. There's eggs in here. Don't know if you can see the eggs inside the cell. So that was laid up in the last 48 hours. Just get them back in here. Just want to get these bees in as well, because it is a bit colder today. A lot of nurse bees on there, sitting on the side of the box here. Tilt it a bit so you can see what I'm doing. Just getting these nurse bees back in the box. I don't want too many bees outside the box today because the weather isn't the best. Okay, I'm going to close them up now. And that's it. Okay, so just to recap on this quickly, we put the virgin queen in the cage 2 nights ago, Thursday evening. It's now Saturday afternoon, around about 3:30 p.m. and I couldn't get into them yesterday because the weather was a little bit bad. I wanted to directly introduce the queen. I don't like to, in this scenario, use the marshmallow in the cages for them to chew through, or candy. I prefer to naturally or introduce them myself, and so I was due to get back on them yesterday, 24 hours after putting her in, but the weather turned on me a bit, so I ended up just having to wait it out. It's cleared up a little bit this afternoon. It's given me a chance to get in. We've released that virgin queen now. Virgin queen's in the bottom so that she can come out and go out and mate. She's already hatched about 4 days ago now. No, 5 days ago, sorry. She hatched on Monday. So she's ready. We actually saw her take off now off the frame, and was a bit concerned that we were going to lose her, but she thankfully flew around and ended up back in the box at the bottom. I could see her on the frame in there. So we know that she can fly. My concerns when we were marking her the other day was that her wings had been a bit damaged, being in the cage, and you can go and check out that video when I'm marking her, and I've got some comments there of just what happened with her. And so I'm glad to see that she can fly. She will be fit enough to fly out and go and mate. The weather's looking like it's going to improve from tomorrow onwards, so it's a good time for her to get out, and in the next couple of days she should go out on her mating flights. And then in the top chamber we've got our laying queen that was originally in this nuke. So we've actually got a queen right set up here, virgin queen at the bottom, queen excluder, the queen in the top. That emergency cell that the supersedure cell that we're finding on the face of the comb, I went back and looked at the records as well of this nuke, and it's actually the fourth time already that I'm finding those supersedure cells, and I just keep removing them, but because to me this queen looks good. Her brood pattern hasn't been the best, I do agree with that, but she has been laying well. She's grown the swarm extremely well over the past 3 months, and I didn't deem there anything wrong with her. So every time I had seen those supersedure cells, I had either destroyed them or had harvested them, of which actually this virgin queen at the bottom now is one of them. And I will be now allowing them to supersede. After seeing them so quickly start to build another supersedure cell in there, it's got an egg in it, I'm going to allow them now to supersede. So what we'll have to do is, counting the days, I estimate the egg to be probably hatching within the next 12 hours or so. So we'll count our days as if we're grafting from tomorrow, and that would put us at, from today, with we're looking at about probably about 12 days until that queen hatches. So what we'll make sure of is this queen at the bottom, we'll be checking in 10 days time to see if she's gone out and successfully mated. We'll be looking for a brood pattern at the bottom. If she's gone out and mated successfully, it's going to be time to switch these boxes around, where we will then be moving her, who's now also a mated laying queen. We'll move her above the queen excluder, and we'll move what is now the top chamber with the queen that's going to be superseded. We'll be moving that down. Our existing laying queen at the top, as you saw in the video, is marked, so I'll be allowing this superseded virgin queen to hatch out, and I'll leave her unmarked. And I have had them, and I've got another scenario out in our breeding yard at the moment where I've got two queens coexisting. So it is a chance that when she first hatches, she will now be at the bottom. It'll be the mother queen along with the virgin queen that hatches a superseded queen, and she will do one of two things. She might go out and mate and start to coexist for a while with the mother queen, or she'll end up killing off that mother queen. So that's why I'm going to leave the virgin queen unmarked, and we'll leave the mother queen marked, so that we can keep an eye on what's going on in the bottom. So we'll probably get back into this box only in about 10 days from now, to assess for the new queen that we've introduced for laying, and then we'll catch up from there, and we will perform the next process of allowing them to now finally supersede this queen in the top, which will then be at the bottom. But yeah, thanks for bearing with me and for watching, and hope you guys have learned something. Cheerio.